Okay, it's
Yes.
about 6:05 and a little bit after 6:05, and I'll call this meeting to order. I want to thank all of you for attending, and I want to thank in particular the board members who have helped get out the notice. If people aren't here tonight, it wasn't for lack of our trying, and I would like the minutes to reflect not only did the board members actively publish and try to spread the word. We also did a legal notice in the Westerly Sun and the New London Day. There was a press release that was picked up by the Westerly Sun in any event. And so we had plenty of notice, and we want to make sure that's in the record. So, that said, the purpose of tonight's meeting is our public hearing. Before we can start our deliberations, we need to have one public meeting, and that is tonight. And so, I would invite any of you who want to participate to come on up to the podium, and I'd like you to just sign in, and so we know who you are, and maybe put your phone number there, and we appreciate your comments. So, thank you. And because I don't know everybody here, please state your name too.
Hi, my name is Linda Camilio, retired tax collector from the town of Stonington. I'm here to mostly advocate that the town clerk and the tax collector positions be hired, not elected. Did you guys know that the town clerk and the tax collector, if they didn't want to, never have to show up for a day of work, and there's nothing the town could do about it? Because they're elected. Only the voters could vote them out. And right now, they're both in 4-year terms. Stonington has been really lucky in the tax collector's office and the clerk's office because, you know, they had Cindy Ladwig and Sally to please for the last 40 years. And now they have Cindy Curioso, then me, and before that, Gisela. 5 very responsible people who cared about our jobs, cared about learning the jobs. But in a lot of other towns, there have been tax collectors and clerks who just don't even bother to show up for work, and there's nothing they can do about it if it's elected. If they're hired, then they can be fired for not doing their jobs. Stonington has been so fortunate, and the bad thing about what's happening right now is the charter revision. If it was open last year, as it probably should have been, then the person in the clerk's office could be hired right now. But that's not the case. Right now, what's going to happen, because the Charter Revision Commission wasn't open, we're going to have a town clerk appointed by one or the other town committees that has absolutely no experience because Sally is going to retire. And the town clerk's office is in charge of birth certificates, death certificates, land records, and a zillion other things, dog licenses. You know, to have a brand new person with no experience come into those offices is just a travesty. It's going to ruin the legacy that Cindy Ladwig and Sally have created. And as far as the tax collector position goes, we're in charge of $80 million, okay? $80 million, that's a lot of money to collect. Well, a little less than that. How much? 97% or something?
No,
of
99.9.
Yeah, so, and, you know, and Gisela had an amazing collection record. I did, and Cindy does too. And to have someone come in there with no experience at all, I mean, first of all, it creates a lot of resentment. These positions are professional positions. So much software you have to learn all the state statutes. And in Stonington, the assessor is a professional position, hired. The Human Resources Director, professional. Building officials, professional. WPCA Director, professional. Finance Director, professional. For the life of me, I can't understand why the town clerk and tax collectors aren't professional positions, especially with their increased responsibility and the complexity of their roles. Yeah, okay, that's all I have to say. So I hope you'll consider that. Well, actually, I have one more thing. I actually really believe in the town manager form of government. Believe me, I think Danielle, Julian, and Deb have done a fabulous job. But I really think Stonington, with all the tourism in Mystic, the hotels, and our $80 million budget, I think it's time for a town manager form of government. So that's my note. That's it.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. If we could, I just want to take a quick break, and I'll be right back.
So I turn away, so I'll be right. Yeah.
We promise we won't go anywhere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Julie, you want to sit here because it's closer? No, I'll move it. It's no biggie. Okay, then just start with me.
There's a little scorecard, I want to keep notes. We won't ever come up with anything like a video.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Thank you for your patience. We'll reconvene.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Chris Johnson, and I live at 37 Greenville Avenue in Mystic, Connecticut. And I've outlined 5 changes to the charter that I would support. Can you hear me, Lynn?
Hardly. The volume on these things is not very high.
Is this better?
Yeah.
Okay. I've outlined 5 changes to the charter that I would support as a voter and resident of Mystic, Stonington. And I'm also a current serving member of the Board of Finance, if you didn't already. So, in no particular order, number 1, adopt gender-neutral terminology for our elected officials. I think it's past time that we adopt a gender-neutral term for our Board of Selectmen and the first selectman office. I would suggest Board of Selectmen could become the Select Board, and First Selectman could become the Select Board Chair. There is precedent for this. The town of Seymour, Connecticut has adopted gender-neutral terms. Many towns in Massachusetts have also adopted gender-neutral terms, including Acton in 2021, and a couple towns in Maine, including Kennebunk, Maine in 2022. So that's that. Number two, I think we should have broadcasting of our elected boards be a requirement in the charter. I think the Board of Education does a great job. I know they're having a meeting tonight, and I will be watching that on YouTube when I get home. But unfortunately, we don't have the same level of broadcasting for our Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance. And I feel like that's something we could do in the charter and have a requirement to have those meetings broadcast and then available for replay later. I think that would drive engagement, be good for accessibility and transparency. So I would support that. Number three, I'd like to see something in the charter that shows our commitment to coastal resilience and mitigation of the effects of climate change. I don't know exactly where that would fit into the charter, but I'd be happy to hear the input from our POCD, Implementation Committee, our Climate Change Task Force, and our Flood Prevention, Coastal Resilience, and Erosion Control Board. I hope we can change, shorten that name too, but that's a state statute. So that's that one. Number four, I think we should reduce the number of constables that we have. I'm not sure they serve any specific purpose in our town government at this point. So I think reducing that number or eliminating them as an elected position would simplify our ballot. And the last one, I would support an expansion of our Board of Selectmen to 5 members and move the executive function of the first selectman to a town manager position and assume that salary. So, I can see this happening a couple of different ways, but in my mind, this is, move to a 5-person board. Again, would simplify the ballot because then you don't have somebody running for first selectman who potentially is then elected as a selectman or not elected at all. So, and then if you stagger those terms, maybe it would be 4-year terms staggered like we do with our Board of Selectmen and Board of Finance. So those are my changes that I would support. And that's all I got. So thank you very much.
Chris, thank you so much for your comments and insight. And if it would be helpful to us up here if you could speak into the microphone, because it's been a challenge, and I appreciate all of you that came. We certainly didn't want to cancel this meeting because of lack of space, but this is the biggest place that we could, and the place that could accommodate us, and it's not good for us to hear. And the speakers are pointing out, so if you can speak into the microphone, we appreciate it. It helps us hear.
Okay, can you hear me? All right, my name is Cindy Curioso, and I am the tax collector for the town of Stonington. And I am asking for your consideration to change the elected to a hired. Currently, in the state of Connecticut, there are 72 municipalities left out of 169 that are elected. And in New London County, there are 8 out of 21 elected, and Basra is actually changing, so it would be 7 out of 21 in the New London County that's elected. Hired maintains a stability in the office rather than a 4-year turnover. And as an elected official, I'm not required to have any education at all. I do hold the certificate as a tax collector, but I'm not required to. You potentially could get somebody in the office that has no education at all. And they're required to collect money for the town and may not know how. So it could be pretty bad situation. It's crucial for the town to be able to hire somebody that has experience and has accountability for collecting the revenue for the town. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and I want to thank you for your service too. We appreciate your comments, and I should have said that to Linda Camilio when she got up to speak too, because we've been very fortunate to have some good town servants.
Thanks, Mary.
Tony, I saw you raised your hand. Do you want to speak? But I'm going to let Sally speak before you. Just step up when you know. Okay. Don't feel, don't just muscle your way up here. But we're going to let Sally speak right now.
Make sure is that good?
So far.
Well, Linda kind of took the words right out of my mouth, so I read my letter anyway. First, I'm Sally Duplice. I'm the town clerk here in Stonington. And I want to thank you for the opportunity to present my views to the Charter Revision Commission. And I would like to bring up an issue which I feel the commission needs to address, and that is to strongly consider making the town clerk a hired administrative officer rather than an elected officer. Continuity in this office is a desirable goal due to the extensive amount of statutory and institutional knowledge required to obtain competency in the position. My predecessor worked in the town clerk's office for more than 40 years, over 20 of which as town clerk. When I was elected town clerk, I had been working in the town clerk's office for 36 years. The knowledge and experience required today to master the job of town clerk at all aspects, particularly in the area of elections, is too great to measure, and the town of Stonington is very fortunate that these transitions have been smooth and few. I will not be seeking re-election in November 2025. It would be in the best interest of the town that my replacement comes with a resume, experience, and qualifications rather than a political party or popular vote. Currently, the only requirement to become town clerk is that of residency. Knowledge and experience of what this job entails matters not. The town clerk is a department head whose work is governed by the Connecticut General Statutes, but unlike the town clerk, other department heads do not have to live in Stonington. Thank goodness for this, or else we would not have our finance director, director of assessment, solid waste coordinator, or IT, just to name a few. You have accepted the task of reporting back to the Board of Selectmen no later than May of 2025, revision recommendations to the town charter to appear on the November 2025 municipal election ballot. Keep in mind that also on this same ballot will be a Democratic and Republican candidate for town clerk, one of whom will be elected for a 4-year term, and one who I'm afraid will not be qualified to hit the ground running on January 6, 2026, their first day in office. My hope, however, is for you to work on at least getting the question of whether the town charter be amended so that the office of town clerk become a hired administrative officer rather than an elected officer on the November 2024 state election ballot, to allow for a smooth transition in January 2026 and a newly hired, experienced, and competent town clerk, should the question get passed. Thank you for your consideration. I wish your commission much success as you begin the process of revising the charter. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your comments. Tony, you ready?
Counselor, if there's no one else that wants to speak, I would be happy to take the podium.
Well, there is someone else. So you can go right ahead, Counselor.
Thank you for deferring to Mr. Lombardo.
I believe I have to sign in.
Please do. Your reputation precedes you, however.
Well, I can do that after, while you're contemplating what I say. But it's with great esteem that I come before you, because you're all volunteers, and I know what a volunteer is. And all those that are here for the town, I thank you very much. But when I first heard about the commission being reformed and called to attention, and since I know Mr. Attorney Raymond Trebizzacci, I pushed off a email, and I'd like to read it for you to make it official, because he has all the background material that I refer to in my proposal for the commission to look at. It's dated March 20th, 2024, and the subject: a proposed transfer from the Ethics Commission to the Charter Revision Commission covering moral turpitude in the Charter. Now, that may be a foreign word to some people, but I dealt with it professionally in that I ran the Better Business Bureau, which was voluntary self-regulation by business to regulate itself without laws, just a code of ethics. And it works very well. So I know what I'm talking about. So it's up to you to determine whether you want to transfer it from the ethics part of the charter, which hasn't really been tapped into. And reading it over, I said, gee whiz, here's the answer to a problem that we've had in the past. And let me elaborate a little bit. During the mid-70s, the town experienced an employee behavior problem, and 2 more events similar in nature occurred thereafter, which all led to a considerable expense to the town taxpayers. Ouch. If you remember those days, I do. It was very uncomfortable, to have to pay off someone who has been not very ethical in the view of the town. Maybe this vacuum no longer exists. If so, please disregard my suggestion. If not, this may be the time to innovate for the future by moving the spirit of sections 3 and 4 from the Ethics Commission into some enforceable ordinance code in the public interest. And in the long run, it's going to save us a lot of money. Like I was mentioning to someone earlier tonight, why should we roll out the red carpet to someone who has done us wrong in the town and have to pay him off to get rid of him? And this is my reason for speaking up with a thought that was born in 2017 when all this was going on. Also, I'd like to congratulate and give my best wishes to all who have volunteered up there in the commission and out here, people that have showed up to give their opinions. So attached, I have hand-delivered to Attorney Trebizzacci's office all of the basic information from the Ethics Commission. So it's not something that I thought of. It's something that's already in the charter. And it's up to you to determine if you want to move this moral turpitude to prevent any future payouts by this town to get rid of an employee who has done us wrong. And why should the taxpayers have to pay? And pay and pay. It's not right. It's not ethical. So that's in your hands. Thank you very much. And if there's any questions, I'll sign in while you think about it.
We appreciate your comments, Tony, and the papers that you had delivered to me will be also delivered to the rest of the commission as we, when we start our deliberations. Well, we have to have this meeting first. So thank you for those comments, and it's points well taken.
Thank you and good night.
Be good. Thank you.
All right, David Brown.
One second, Dave. Depends on what you. Yes, hold on for that. All right. Okay. Let's let Dave talk. So, if we could, hold on for 1 second. Okay, Dave?
David Brown. I too feel that the tax collector's position and the town clerk's position should be a position that's comes under the control of the selectmen, not an appointed, not an elected position, for reasons that have been stated. I also would like you to look at the treasurer's job to see if that's still a feasible position. I know it doesn't pay a lot, but I'm not sure if it's a redundant position from what our finance director does, but I guess the treasurer's role is to oversee the finances of the town, like a check. But I'm not sure if that's being done or has been done for a long time, so I don't know if it's a superfluous position or not, but maybe something to take a look at. Form of government, I too would like to see a change in the form of government. I was on the Charter Revision Commission with our chairman back in 2004, where that was our charge, and it didn't pass. There was a position with, we suggested 5 selectmen from the different areas of the town. I think that would be a good move. Get maybe more participation. It might lead to more participation if we had someone in each area. Maybe people would be more inclined to participate in how the town is run. So if you take a look at that, I know that's a tough one, but Danielle had mentioned that a couple of times to me that she would actually like to entertain or take a look at that again to see if it's something that might be more beneficial. And we've been lucky mostly through the years where we've had people that are qualified and haven't had too many ethics problems. But it's a roll of the dice You know, a lot of times it's people that are retired, they're looking for just we've had that situation before. So I think having a professional do it, run the town, it's not a perfect system, but I would be inclined to be more comfortable with that type of government. We researched it quite, but I still have all the notes from it. And if you may have it too, Craig. And then transparency part, I've been pushing to have the finance board's meetings. I know the Board of Ed has been mentioned, their meetings are on YouTube, but evidently there's some kind of problem. I talked to Danielle about this, where getting the right equipment or someone, a company to do it. But I really feel that it would be really good to have not only the Board of Finance, but maybe other boards, planning and zoning, where people can, and I had, when I was running for the position on the finance board, a couple of people asked me, you know, I said, you know, we just can't go, we don't feel like going to those meetings, you know, they're at night, wintertime, how come they're not, you know, broadcast or on YouTube or whatever? So I said, well, I said, you can't go on the town website and look at the minutes, and there's a lot of information there, but it's not like actually being hearing the meeting. So I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hi all, my name is Jennifer Lacker. I'm a 20-year resident of the Broadway School in Mystic. Thank you all for your work here, looking at this. I'm here because I think our town is really unique in being so beautiful a place that also has 1.5 million visitors a year coming here with their cars. And I'm interested in our transportation issues and how we will grow in the future and handle all these cars and people and growth. The new residences up on Jerry Brown Road, the planned ones for Liberty Street, for Mechanic Street, Mary Hall, all this growth that we want. The new businesses on Route 27. So my interest is in transportation and safety, and how we're going to move everyone around our community in a frictionless network. On that issue, I was hoping that we could look at the issue of having the traffic authority separated from the police commission, as it is in many other towns, including Groton. It happens in many communities. We could give it to the police commission and public works, as it is in many other towns. It would be a dedicated thought trust to the severe issues that we have with transportation. It's extremely complicated now with how many solutions are out there for transportation issues. And I bring a manual on uniform traffic control devices, the 11th edition from December 2023. The last one was done by the federal government in 2009. This is 1,200 pages of signage, of road designs, of all that could help us here. But we're asking civilians in our police commission to take a look at that and rule on it. And so I'm just asking, is this the best, most efficient way that we find solutions that we need for our town? I find when I go to police commission meetings that it's 10 or 15 minutes of their meeting devoted to someone who has a complaint or an issue, somebody wants a sign to slow down traffic or whatnot, and it ends up being piecemeal or just spot fixes instead of total comprehensive issues, or looking at bigger picture items and solutions that we could use. There was an article that was in the New Haven Independent last year about this, and I have copies for you. It's a complicated issue. I don't know the technology, the legalese that would be necessary to do that. It's much debated in this, but it includes our DOT Commissioner, Garrett Ucalito, citing the Office of State Traffic Administration Opinion, Section 14297, that the traffic authority should have training and experience in law enforcement, engineering, public works, or executive municipal administrative. Instead of what we have now with the police commission, somebody comes and complains, they refer it to the administration. It's just a layer of government that's not necessary. So the police commission is wonderful and has lots to do with events, with police issues. But let's just take the local authority and put it aside in a concentrated place with the police commission. So I'm going to leave you copies of this article for you to look at, and I hope we can have a session just looking at this issue and whether it's possible here to be like other towns that more efficiently come to solutions. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Perhaps you could leave it with Derek, our recording secretary, in the second row, and it will definitely get to us. Thank you so much. Anybody else? Go 3 times. Any other comments? Any other comments tonight? I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you for your comments. It will help us as we move to our deliberation phase, where we have to focus on what our task is to try to see what things we can do better in this town. I want to encourage you all to continue to come to the meetings, although this is, I don't want to stifle any public input as we go along. However, at some point as a commission, we need to focus, and this is really why the law helps us do that by setting up this meeting first, and then we can deliberate and see exactly where we're going to go. So I thank you for your attendance, and I thank you for your comments. And you know where to find us if you want to say anything more. We just have a few more issues that we have to talk about. We have to set a meeting schedule, and I think that I passed something along, and I'm not sure what your pleasure is. First of all, I think that our next item of business should be to talk to the various boards and commissions in town to see if they have any input, and then we move into our regular meetings. But I'd welcome any input from the commissioners.
What did you pass out?
So I sent an email earlier, probably
A
a couple of weeks ago.
Oh.
Yeah, with that.
Tuesday and Thursday, that one?
It's basically every second and third. Let's see, second and third Thursday. I mean, we can set that up and use that as our.
Second and third, so consecutive?
I'm sorry, second and fourth. Let me see. Hold on, I forget.
Second and fourth.
Second and fourth. That's what worked with our town, with our commission attorney, and so it would be.
Secretary. Is that right?
Do you have what's your schedule, Derek?
Just the first Thursday.
You're unavailable the first Thursday?
That's when I'm unavailable.
So second and fourth Thursday, you'd be able to do it?
Yes, I would like to confirm that for you, but I seem to have
So let me make this suggestion. We'll tentatively, oh, I'm sorry. You all right?
I won't, yes.
Okay.
Second and third would be first.
Second and fourth is okay?
Yes.
So we'll tentatively schedule, let me make this suggestion if it's okay with the rest of the commissioners. We'll tentatively schedule it for the second and fourth Thursday. We will have it at the Pawcatuck Neighborhood Center, subject to my confirmation that everyone is available then. But I think the second and fourth Thursday seems to work.
Will that include the 14th and the 28th of May? Previous.
So I see May 16th, no, I'm sorry.
Are we doing Thursday or, we're doing Thursday, I'm sorry, the 16th and the 30th?
Yeah, the 16th, and we do the 16th, I don't know that we do the 30th. So I'm going to, I'd suggest that our next meeting will tentatively be the 16th. I'll confirm that and get back to you. And then the meeting after that is June 6th. So it would, the way we have it here,
June 13th.
let's see. Oh my gosh. So tonight, 5/16, which is a week from, this is the second, right now, this is the,
Today is the second.
yeah,
Oh, so it would be the 23rd. I can't do, that's the third Thursday, right?
can you do the 16th? You can't do the 16th?
Well, so I would-
Okay.
The third Thursday, I have not going to be. The second, the 23rd would actually be.
Because that would be the fourth Thursday.
Would be, yeah,
Hold on, I'm sorry.
Okay. So we'll have their calendars.
But
the second and fourth. we're talking about, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that I
So-
can do. So that would be the 23rd,
Mhm.
but I don't know if that's enough time to notify all the boards and commissions.
I understand. I want to talk about that in a few seconds. So the next one would be the 23rd. The 6th, hold on for a second. Wow. You know something, I have to get back to you on this, because what I have here from our attorney, and not that we necessarily have to go with him, because he doesn't have to be at all of these meetings, but he has himself being available on the first and third Thursday. And Derek, you're not available on the first Thursday?
Correct.
I'm not available on the 3rd.
Okay, so it's got to be a little bit different. It's got to be second and fourth. Okay, I'm gonna have to to confirm all of that, and tentatively we'll do second and fourth, and but I will confirm it. I don't think it's a problem getting the Pawcatuck Neighborhood Center. The next item, I believe, needs to be our discussion with the various boards, and I have no problem in trying to get them to our next meeting. One other way to do it is to have each of us, maybe delegate each of us to talk to the various boards and report back to us. But I don't know. How would you rather do it? It doesn't bother me one way or the other.
I can take 3 of them. So I can talk to, get the stuff put on the agenda so that the commission gets a chance to discuss it, and then I can report back, so, because there's so many conflicts with meetings, there's so many commissions.
Yeah, I know. I think it would be a bear to get everybody here for
I think it's
one meeting.
impossible, because they'll have meetings on
every
those
board
nights.
and commission in town.
You know something, we
I
should.
think that's one of the things we need to decide. which, if we're talking every commission in
Like 40
town,
of them.
yeah, this is gonna be more than just one meeting.
Yeah.
I think we almost have to establish a hierarchy of, okay, we want to have these commissions first, these second, these third, or however. I mean,
Or
'cause-
offer them the option to submit
Right.
something written to us.
I mean, I think that that's probably a good way to do it too, is to offer them the option of submitting. So I didn't realize there were 40
It's
boards.
something, yeah, it's like it's.
But
close to 40.
they're on, yeah, there may be 40 boards and commissions, but not necessarily those that are part of the charter.
Right.
So I guess a good way to probably do it. I don't want to impose on anybody at the town hall for this, but I want to get a way to, go ahead.
Why don't I go through and get a listing of the boards, go through the charter, get a listing of the boards, submit that, and then we can decide who's going to contact which individuals. They may not have enough time for this meeting, but try to get it out.
And for the first meeting in June, which would be what,
We'll
the
have the
13th?
list.
Yeah.
And that'll be June 13th, will be the next meeting after the 23rd.
All
Actually,
right.
we don't have any AI software in town, do we, that you guys use for searches?
Well, the boards,
Any
everything
apps
is,
or anything like that, that to go through, for example, you could go through the charter in a second, that kind of an app? I don't know if the town has it, do you?
I don't know if they have something new like that, no, but all the boards and commissions are all filed, so we would be able to get a listing of those. I don't think that's difficult.
No, that's right, I'm looking at it right
And
now.
on the charter, I can search to like, condition and
Okay.
go through that.
Right. We have to, I guess what we should do, or one of the things we should do is those boards that are part of the charter, we should definitely get in touch with them. Those boards and offices that are part of the charter, we have to get in touch with those people. And the next question is, who else do we extend it to?
I don't think there's all that many that are chartered.
Right, and so we're probably going beyond what we have to do by going outside of the charter.
And I think there's a lot of boards and commissions, like under planning and zoning and industrial services that might have boards and commissions that
Right.
they directly work with as well.
Okay, so, yeah, so they're sort of like a sub-board of something that's chartered, of a charter.
Yeah, there's a lot of subcommittee and ad hoc
Yeah,
committees
someone
in around
someone
town.
with the town staff who wants to have another department established under the charter. So
Like,
I think Marcia's a good idea that we look through the charter and maybe, do you want to do that together?
or maybe just make a list of what's
I can
chartered.
go through and do it, and I can email, you can take a look at it, if there's something missing.
If you do that, would you do that, please? I'd appreciate that. And that way we can help prioritize, or that way we can figure out what our next step will be.
Yeah.
And,
If I could say something.
yes, please.
Not all of the boards and commissions are active,
Right,
right? We do have some task forces, like the climate change task force.
okay. So, and I think again, it goes back to the issue of who do we contact? Let's concentrate, first of all, on the chartered, those boards and commissions that are named in the charter and the town offices that are in the charter.
Perhaps ask the attorney what he recommends.
I will. Well, I'll be talking with the attorney tomorrow to ask what he recommends as far as that goes. But I think that once we figure out exactly who we're going to contact, an email blast to them and see if they have any comments, and then we can talk about it at the next meeting. All right. And presently we're shooting for the 23rd as our next meeting at the Public Payment Center.
At 6 o'clock?
Sorry.
6 o'clock?
That's my next question. Yeah, 6 or 7, you tell me. I'd rather do it at 6. But it's up to you.
I can always do 6, but I won't be here on the 23rd. I'm moving my son back from Kentucky to Maine.
I know mine works.
That's good. You can do it remotely.
I could.
You could, yes, you could. We'll work that out if you need
Oh,
to.
yes, I could do that.
6?
Yes.
Okay, let's do 6 o'clock. Second and fourth Thursdays at 6 o'clock. PNC. Okay. Any other things for the good of the cause? then I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you so much.